This F-150 promises to be the return of the street truck. The street truck. But there's something that doesn't add up. It's hiding a big engine under here, but it doesn't feel like it should. It looks aggressive, but appearances can be deceiving. It's a bit expensive, but it's missing some basic things. Now, this is the Ford F-150 Lobo, but is it really a wolf or just a little lamb? And look, all white and everything, disguised as a wolf. I'll explain that next in this video. Welcome. When it comes to exterior design, that's where you'll probably find the biggest changes in this Ford F-150 Lobo. Changes in terms of modifications, the things that set it apart from a regular Ford F-150 as you know it, from an STX for example. Because basically, this is an STX that they've just changed the badge to Lobo, but let's see how much of a wolf it really is. Well, the front grille is a bit more aggressive, in black, of course, which really stands out against the white of this color. I think this is actually the first time I've ever been given a white truck. They usually give me different colors, but this time I got a white one for this Lobo. The grille is a bit more aggressive, and I actually prefer the Ford logo in black over the blue. Yeah, it also gives it a bit more of a sinister character. The LED lights are a bit more eye-catching, as you can see in the headlight assemblies. It's a bit more expressive, and these LED lights also look nice, and you'll find them distributed. There are 4 in total. Here you have them. At night, they also give it that sinister, mysterious character that draws attention. It's like a double LED light. It harmonizes, let's say, with the front headlight, the daytime running light of the front headlight, which divides this LED projector headlight and has the 4 lights here, accompanying, let's say, the front grille. You also have some functionality in the lower part. Not completely, let's say. You find some openings here, and you find this with little functionality because supposedly it also has an aerodynamic component, or aerodynamic function there. And below, you also have a fog light. Here you will find the F-150 Lobo. The Lobo badge is also over there. There's also a bit of functionality here. And we have some huge rims. These rims are 22 inches, they're huge. And they look really good. They give it that sporty character. You have a 50 profile and a width of 275 millimeters in black. That rim, obviously, contrasting with the white color, also gives more character to this Ford F-150 Lobo. And that first driving impression has to do, obviously, with what's under the hood, right? That V8 engine. Unfortunately, all I really get is a good sound, sure. It sounds like a V8. Now that the trend is, especially at Ford, they've switched from V8S to V6 to turbos, 4 cylinders, and they're continuing with that trend. This one has a V8 and that's good, right? But what's going on? The power delivery, and I'm already here on a highway. Let's change the driving mode a bit. Here I have a normal driving mode. There's the trailer mode, there's the economy mode, and there's the sport mode. In sport mode, because the image of this truck is sporty, I press it. And once again, there it is. The roar of the V8 engine. However, of course, for everyday traffic situations, you won't have any problem, let's say, overtaking. The V8 responds. You have your 400 horsepower right there at your disposal. But since this truck's image and marketing are all about being a street truck with a sporty image, it doesn't really excite me. I'm pressing the accelerator a little. I'm going to take a turn here because it's a bit clearer on that side. Well, it was, because it looks like the pack has been unleashed. Now it is. Well, we have to wait a bit for the pack to pass, but let's get on the highway when it's a little clearer, and I'll tell you more about that V8. But while we wait for the road to clear so we can step on it, really put the pedal to the metal in the Ford F-150 Lobo, I'll tell you about the engine and its specifications. Well, there's something special under this cover, under this hood. Well, you have the Coyote engine, the 5.0-liter engine, the V8. That's good, since Ford's trend has been to remove the V8S. And in the industry itself, they're replacing V8S with V6s, except for 1 or 2 brands that are doing it right. 5.0-liter V8 the Coyote. It's paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission like many of Ford's F-150s. Nothing special there. There's no sporty tuning as such, no sporty adjustment. Power-wise, it will give you 400 horsepower and torque. We're talking about 410 pound-feet of torque. It's basically the same setup you find in a regular F-150, or to be more specific, the STX. There aren't really any actual improvements. There's nothing, let's say, special about the engine in the Lobo. In terms of fuel consumption, what can you expect? Well, about 17 miles per gallon in the city and around 22 on the highway. The equivalents, I think, are 9 kilometers per liter on the highway and 7 kilometers per liter in the city. So up to that point, it's pretty standard. Now the road has cleared up a bit. We're going to be able to push it, pedal to the floor, sport mode. Good sound. It has good pull. Good initial punch, right? But I don't know. It's missing that excitement, that aggressiveness, that when they sell me the concept of a lowered, sporty street truck with a little more excitement. I'm not feeling it here. Let's make the driving a bit more aggressive here. Also, watch out for this. The grip, yeah, it sounds nice. I'm not going to deny it. The tires lose a bit of grip. I mean, we're also talking about a sporty image for this truck that brings back the street truck, the street pickup, and yet, I feel like the tires, well, kind of lose grip quickly. And in acceleration, if you like the 0 to 60 miles per hour numbers, since they're selling it with a sporty image, well, it does it in 6.3 seconds. That's the quickest it gets from 0 to 60 miles per hour, or about 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Continuing along, we're going to find the mirror housings in black. I don't see a camera around here. We continue with the basic trend that this Lobo has, black door handles, and you have the option to open it with a key. Of course. You can unlock it with the key. That's something you can do. This pillar is in black, and over here we have... Let's look at the gas cap. This is something Ford products have. It's the easy fuel system, so you don't need a cap. The bed itself is the regular one, with a non-slip surface and a bed liner. And over here you have a little camera. Let's see. Oh, this doesn't have a soft drop. It has a hard drop. Another little detail that could have been improved, and of course, you have an electrical connection here. It's a standard plug with some tie-down points at the end, but overall, it's just a simple, straightforward bed. Because this truck itself, the concept is for it to be a street truck, like for you to use it a bit on the street, but not too much. Of course, you can carry things and all that, but it doesn't have that much functionality here. I think a Ford Maverick has more little things here, features that can give you more versatility in the bed. And in this rear part, continuing, we already saw that the tailgate is not soft drop, you get the logo in black. The F-150, engraved there, you have your dual exhaust pipes, also in black, which stands out really well with that rear bumper. The taillights also didn't get any changes for this Ford Lobo. The only thing I see here, well, I don't even see the Lobo badge, just Ford. So it's basically the same. Speaking of this dual exhaust, yes, it gives it more character. And honestly, yes, the V8 sounds better than in other F-150s, I won't deny it. But honestly, you can achieve this with an aftermarket system for much less money. But now, let's take a look at the interior, because there are some basic things here that I didn't like, and I'm going to tell you about them. But first, if you're enjoying the video, give it a like. It's a way to support this channel. Also, support it by subscribing. That way, those who are in the market for a Ford F-150, a pickup truck like this, will have the opportunity to get this information firsthand. When you like and subscribe, that sends YouTube the message that the video has value for those people. So we help each other as a community. And well, I thank you, my dear friend, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. The interior of this F-150 Lobo. This is where you realize that it's pretty basic. Like I mentioned in the introduction of this video, it's just an STX interior and nothing more. The dashboard itself, yes, it has the little digital icons, but that's not really an improvement. That's been around since 2021, if I remember correctly, the year they redesigned the F-150. You don't have heated seats. There's no dual-zone climate control. You have basic materials. The steering wheel doesn't really feel sporty. And look at this. You still use a physical key. Yes, here you have your little screen where you have the connectivity controls, the vehicle hotspot to connect to the internet, audio screens. Let's turn down the volume. Well, there's a physical volume button. About the physical buttons, you know that yes, I'm a fan of them. Not so much digital complication like in other trucks. Let's say that's simplicity. If we have to give it some credit, we'll give it that. Here you have your four-wheel drive control, and the drive mode controls are right here. Drive mode. You'll notice that you have a normal mode, a tow mode, an economy mode for efficient driving, and a sport mode. And if you go to the knob, if we turn it to the right, we'll find a mode for, slippery, for wet or snowy surfaces. Even there, the graphic shows it, well, the graphic of the STX itself. And you also have an off-road mode, and obviously it starts making adjustments for off-road driving. Let's leave it in eco mode for now. Here on the screen you have driving assistance, lane keeping, pre-collision assist, and collision warning. Well, you have that. It actually comes with cross-traffic alert, which is so important. The cross-traffic alert, blind spot information system, the blind spot information. You also see it reflected obviously in the mirrors. That's very good. And you have some apps here. You can use Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wirelessly. If you want, you can use karaoke. And look, this is a little thing that, Forge, I don't know how much you like karaoke, but if you want to put it on, well, karaoke takes a long time. Let's wait for it to load. If you want, let's accept. Obviously, this doesn't let you do it while you're driving, but if you want to play karaoke while you're stopped waiting for your wife or mom to finish shopping at the supermarket, well, you can play. You can have fun with karaoke. Here, for example, on this features screen, there's something that says record feedback.
Record any likes, dislikes, or suggestions about the experiences with your vehicle, and then select Send.
The English voice asks you to record your impressions, opinions, complaints, and what you liked or didn't like. For example, press record. Say, I like the truck but want more power. Then press Send.
Thank you. Your feedback was sent.
I said that I like the truck, but I would have liked a bit more power. And you send that? And the people at Ford, the Ford product team, will be in charge of reviewing those opinions. And supposedly, they'll take them into account for future products. So that's interesting. Oh, and another detail about the interior is that here you won't find any kind of sunroof or sliding roof. None of that. No sunroof at all. Now here's something I do like about this F-150 Lobo. Of course, it's not exclusive to the F-150 Lobo, but it's this center console. Why? Because it's very versatile. Here you can put your cell phone. Over here you have another compartment. What you don't have is charging, wireless charging for the cell phone. I don't see it. No, it doesn't have wireless charging for the cell phone. Your cup holders, but look, it has this versatile setup here. This piece you can use like a table so you can put your plate of food or your laptop, and you can work there. And further back, you have a couple of additional cup holders. So I think this versatility is good. In addition, it has the huge storage space there at your disposal. Here in the passenger area, well, you're going to find a good amount of space. The wheelbase gives you a lot of room in this double cab. The double cab of the Ford F-150, the STX, is no different in the Lobo. It's basically the same, but you do have good legroom. You have your air conditioning vents, your USB-C ports, and a regular power outlet. And well, you feel comfortable back here. There's really not much else to say. As for that, these are cloth seats, so the interior is pretty basic, which for $62,000, I think they could have done something a little better. And the key is not only conventional, but it's also pretty simple. I mean, it doesn't have what they call a key fob. The key itself doesn't have any special design. Something that would say, for example, Lobo, like a little drawing or something. No, it's pretty basic and simple. Here in this Lobo version, it's not like you have, it's the same transmission as a regular 2022 F-150. The 10-speed automatic, the brakes, for example, don't give you a feeling, let's say, of a sporty brake bite. No. The steering also feels a bit sluggish in terms of response. It doesn't invite you to drive aggressively. That's it. Look, the Ford Maverick Lobo, that one does have steering that's more tuned for that aggressive driving, taking corners with more spirit, as I like to say. So you can do that drifting. I think it even has a drift mode, if I remember correctly, the Ford Lobo does. Of course, it's a truck, a pickup that's a bit smaller, a bit more compact, with more ideal proportions. This one obviously is the Ford F-150, but yeah, like they say, Lobo, lower, sporty look. So you expect a bit more brake feel, steering feel, and obviously the grip of the truck itself isn't all that sporty, to be honest. In conclusion, about the driving, does it drive well? Is it comfortable? Does it have a good driving position? You don't have that many knobs. The seats, well, for paying over $60,000 for this truck, I don't know, the controls should have been electric, right? You don't have seat controls, they're completely manual. Both for moving it and adjusting the backrest, seat height, everything is completely manual. There's nothing electric here. Well, yes, there are electric locks for the doors, but not for moving the seats. You have your V8, you have your 400 horsepower. It drives like a Ford F-150, but nothing, let's say, more special than the cosmetic details themselves that this Ford F-150 Lobo has. But let's talk about the suspension, because the suspension of this Lobo, this 2026 Lobo version, is basically a standard F-150 suspension. But watch out, modified to look and feel more street-oriented, so to speak. What's the main key? Well, this one, as you can see, is lower than a normal F-150. Approximately how much? 2 inches. That completely changes the stance of the vehicle, and we can see it right there. Look at it. But what did they really change? Well, lowered suspension, especially in the back, shock absorbers adjusted for that height, lower center of gravity, focused 100% on asphalt, not so much for off-road. Now let's discuss the price, which is obviously important for the Ford F-150 Lobo. If you plan to buy it, my advice is to keep quiet at the dealership. That's the title of my digital book, featuring advice on what not to say at the dealership. Against you, strategically, to get more money out of you. And it's about sharing the pie among everyone, so that everyone, including the dealers, can do their business. But also so that the consumer benefits, that they keep their mouth shut at the dealership. That's the title of my digital book. Take a look at it, and there I tell you how you can get it. Keep your mouth shut at the dealership. The price. This unit, just as you see it, will cost you $62,000 with the level of equipment I've shown you. Engine. Nothing special. It's the same as a Ford F-150 STX. Yes, the badges, the Lobo badging, cosmetic cues, that's one thing. But in terms of engine and sporty tuning, well, you don't really have anything special. Let me know what you think about that $62,000 price and if you'd be willing to pay it for the Lobo. In conclusion, this F-150, you can go ahead and flood the comments section to let us know what you think. But it drives like a normal F-150, just a bit lower, a bit firmer, and a bit noisier, that's for sure. It doesn't alter the vehicle's core, which is the main issue. This truck sells you an idea, but it doesn't fully deliver on it. I mean, it's not fast enough, it's not sporty enough, it's not special enough to justify the $62,000 price tag, in my opinion. Let me know what you think too. And for that price, I think that matters. To put it in context, a Ford F-150 XLT Power Boost 2026 could even be faster. If we look at other brands, the Ram 1500 with the V8 could be more comfortable and better equipped. Also, if you want performance in a Ford F-150, then go for the Raptor. Of course, you'll have to take a lot more money out of your bank account. So, who is the Lobo for? Good question, since it's neither the fastest, most comfortable, nor most capable. All right, so what do you think about this Ford F-150? Let me know in the comments. If you were to rate it, what score would you give it compared to the regular Ford F-150? And does it appeal to you more than a Chevrolet Silverado, a GMC Sierra, or I always have the Nissan Titan in mind, but well, that one doesn't exist anymore. I mean, they've stopped making it. Or a Tundra. Which one of those? A Ram 1500, obviously. Does it appeal to you more? Are you more of a Ford fan? Are you a fan of the Lobo brand? Of Lobo? Of Lobo? Of Lobalo? Let me know down in the comments. For now, that's all. I'm also sharing a related video for you. Sending a big hug to all the Latin American viewers outside the United States. A big hug to the Spanish-speaking audience in the United States. Thank you for your support. Bye.